about the region.
Really good. I'm
Oh my
glad.
gosh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's great. The other thing I think we try to do, still say we, but we try to do in Civic is we really work hard to look, when you have leaders who are at the level of the folks that are in Civic, which is senior level leadership. These are either founders, or they could be executives. I mean, these are people who are at the height of their careers typically. And so when you get those folks in a room, as you know, that experience is pretty rarefied, and you sometimes, understandably, kind of can forget what life is like for the people at every stage of the work ladder. And so one of the things I felt really proud of is that we really made a point of exposing these executives to what life is like for the people who work for them and for the people who work for their organizations. And so one of my favorite memories of that whole time was there's a guy who still runs Westminster Canterbury, is an amazing leader named Ben Uncle. And Ben went through the program, and we did this simulation of a day in the life of the working poor. So this is not people in poverty, these are people who have jobs. And it's a simulation, it's about a 3-hour simulation where you set people up with like an alias or an assumed identity, and you give them a family structure, and you give them, this is your job and these are your hours, and that sort of thing. So we set them up with that, and he went through this experience, and then through the 3 hours you throw things at these people like, oh, guess what, your rent just went up 15%, and in your little play money bucket you only have this much money. He was so moved by that he went back to the board at Westminster Canterbury and said, we have an obligation to the people who work here to pay them a living wage. And so I've forgotten what the calculation of a living wage was at that point. But he challenged the board and said, we really need to be paying these people a living wage. And to their credit, they said yes.